So still it sits. Yep. Keep on going. I'm with Tom Petley from HaloITSM. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
What I'm really interested in talking to various vendors in this space is, like, what do you need? What kind of messages do you need to present to the market? And I know that you guys have rebranded and everything. So having gone through that process, what were you thinking of in terms of what we needed to do to get our message across?
So it's quite an interesting one for us because we were, if anyone doesn't know, we used to be called Net Help Desk. So that was our previous name, and it always kind of, it never quite sat true to the offering we were presenting, because it was help desk was in the name, and we were so much more than the help desk. It was a service management solution. So we always knew we had to get away from the name, and it also coincided with because Net Help Desk was a desktop application. It was installed. It was a Windows Forms application, double click to open everything, and very, very functional, and it worked really well. But it was just not in touch with the modern market. So it just tied in with our move to web-based and cloud, and it all just kind of pieced together for us, and it's all going really well for us at the moment.
And in that process, then you obviously come up with a name and a brand, and how you then sell that product to the market. What considerations, what kind of criteria did you want to get across as part of that?
So for us, we were almost unheard of at this time. We weren't a product that it wasn't a mainstream product at all. It wasn't getting on shortlists and stuff. So for us, it was mostly about giving a very, very clear message that we're an ITSM solution. So we wanted to get that in the name. In hindsight now, we've got to a stage that we are established, and a lot of people here know of us already. It might be nice that we don't have IT in it, because obviously service management is the way the industry's going. It's expanding from IT. But that's something for us to work out in terms of a branding perspective.
But I mean, you say it's important about service management. What kind of aspects? I suppose what I'm trying to get at is what sort of values or criteria are you trying to get across as a vendor in the market? And I'm trying to just, we could open it out to the wider market. What messages does the market need to get across? And are they landing? Are people going, yeah, that's exactly what we want to be doing?
Yeah, so big ones for us is very much focused around the end user experience. So self-service is obviously a key player at the moment, and we've always wanted to be an intuitive system that users can pick up, adopting self-service, and also transitioning into environments, communication platforms that users are already using, so Microsoft Teams and Slack and things like that. And we think we're getting that message across. It's not the easiest one because it's such a crowded market, but I think we're trying to stand out as that modern, intuitive platform that's just good to use, really. That's kind of what we're after.
From the point of view, and again, not really getting into the product too much, but what sort of things do you think people are wanting to do that maybe they weren't wanting to do 3 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah, a lot of the things we talk about used to, I don't know, they're still around, they're still talking points. There's enterprise service management, obviously, that's been talked about for years, and that's more and more becoming something that people really want to do. But the ones that have come out recently, which is, it's probably a driver from remote working, so it's come out of, I don't want to get onto it, but lockdowns and stuff like that, and working from home, are things like team spots, self-service, working with virtual agents, using those chatbots used to be something that just didn't work. They're almost like a laughing stock chatbot. It doesn't actually help, it's just there. But now they're actually really good, and you can actually see a real life adoption of them. And I think that's the way the industry will go, is to do a lot more of that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and actually giving the users an opportunity to basically resolve their issue or submit their request without actually interacting with a human.
Yeah. The other issue that always comes up, and it's been around for years and still here regularly, though, is the idea of the quality of information coming out. Not just standard metrics, but how can we turn this into something that's sensible and business focused and so on? I mean, do you think that the industry is cracking that now? Do you think we're actually getting to that point, or are we still quite operational?
I don't think the industry has cracked it yet, to be honest. It's always been a big bugbear of mine as well, that we're doing all these things, we're doing all these processes, we're capturing all this data, but actually the metrics we're using to report back on it, they're not actually helping the business necessarily. They're not actually kind of driving progression and things. So it is a bugbear of mine, and it's one of those ones that I haven't yet come up with a good answer for, because it does take, it's not just IT, it needs the adoption from the whole organisation. And even things like self-service, unless that's saving people a lot of time, you could end up just pushing the time that IT would have spent on it. You can actually push it out to the business, and they ended up spending a lot of time, whereas before they would just ring up or they would send an email. And
yeah.
So I think it's something that the industry still needs to sort out, if I'm honest.
And then a lot of that is about the automation as well, the removal of manual tasks.
Yeah.
Which I guess, I'm certainly seeing more of it. I wouldn't say it's completely overwhelmingly embedded, but it's definitely better than it was.
Yeah, all the automation and the orchestration side of things has certainly come on a lot in the last year or two. I know even at Halo we used to rely on kind of triggering Microsoft Orchestrator, runbooks and things like that, or PowerShell scripts and things like that. And now we brought the automation into the tool, and a lot of the systems that you'll see here today will have done the same thing. So actually, as part of the ITSM workflow engine, you actually got the orchestration element in there already.
Okay.
And it just makes things life so much easier and just quicker to adopt these things.
And just sort of rounding off, we were speaking on the same panel about employee experience, mental health, that whole kind of service desk side of that. Do you think that technology can help to improve the experience of those working in that environment?
I'm a big believer that the software, as a software vendor, it's our job to make an environment that's good to use and really nice to use. And we can do all sorts of things to do that, but just UI, just being nice to use is a big thing. And it's not that difficult either for a vendor to just make little tweaks, get feedback, make things look nice, and just make an enjoyable experience, really. So I believe that is our responsibility. Yeah.